Okay, we have quorum. So before we start, my olelo no ea for today. Hileheva kamanao ke ole ke kuka kuka. Ideas run wild without discussion. Which is what we're really saying is discussion brings together ideas. And brings together the ideas into a plan. So that's our plan. Okay, so we call to order. I think the first thing is a roll call. I will introduce myself and I have council, committee members introduce themselves and staff as well. So I'm Charles Young. I'm the chair of the action committee. I reside in Kalia, South Kona.
John Pelletier, member of the action committee, and then Ooma in North Kona.
And Nancy, CEO, Vice Chair of the Action Committee, and I reside in Chapel.
Dave,
David Huerta, Action Committee.
Heather,
Heather Karate. I live in Captain Cook and I'm a member of the Action Committee.
Pass,
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Oh,
You
you,
muted.
We can't hear.
Sorry about that. I'm a little new. Charlotte Thompson, part of the Action Committee. I'm from Kona. And I've got a sore throat and I didn't want to infect anyone, so I'm staying home today.
Well, thanks for making it on Zoom.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for your consideration on that as well. Next order is the minutes of the December 17th meeting. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
Second,
I'll second from Nancy.
okay. So John, motion, Nancy second. Any concerns, questions, comments, amendments to the minutes of December 17th? Committee members? Okay, hearing none, then I'll call for the question. All in favor of adopting, approving the minutes of the December 17th, 2024 meeting, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Okay, so let me just make a statement before we go. We're gonna talk about public testimony now. It's just some housekeeping things. So for those of you who may want to testify on any of the agenda items, whether you're on a Zoom or on present, those present here, if you can fill out a form and with your name and the item that you may wish to testify on there, and we'll probably take them in the order that I receive them or the order of the business. Now, normally, one of the policies is that testimony on any business item can be taken at the beginning of the meeting, which I welcome you to do if you want to testify about something. But we will also take up your testimony when the item is called up for business itself. You can feel free to do anything, either or. But let's just not make the testimony redundant. You know, saying it twice.
FaceTime audio.
Oh, here we go. It's not good. So if there's any public testimony that anybody wants to consider now? Okay, if not, we're gonna just move on to the business. Okay, so the first order of business is the mayor's boards and commissions collaboration. This is discussion on potential action on opportunities for collaboration with other boards and commissions. The discussion we had at the last meeting, we gave ourselves a little bit of homework. I think we all agreed that in reaching out to other committees and boards within the county would be very useful for us. And, so, I think what we asked is, if, committee members had the opportunity maybe to go on this county website and take a look at, what board commission, they may be interested in perhaps, following. And then we'll go ahead and discuss how we might be able to collaborate with them. Keep it in mind that there's a sunshine law. Well, so I'll go first. The topics that interest me really are water. Number one, and I've said this before, so I'm going to make a commitment to try and attend the CWRM meetings if I possibly can. And this is state now, but the county's on it from time to time. And the DWS, our Department of Water Supply, has separate meetings as well. So that was the one that I think I will take personal interest in. I think the other ones that are germane to us would be maybe the Cultural Resource Committee and the Legal Planning Commission. So those are my thoughts, and I open that up to committee members to what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I really agree with the cultural resources committee. I mean, I feel like, we use them a lot for our guidance with the Kona 3 and LLC top. And then also with the Leeward Planning Commission, that's where we're doing a lot of collaboration lately. Those are the two ones. So.
For my part, for the next couple months, I would say I'd be trying to collaborate with the other ACs just because of the sunshine law legislation, and I want to reach out to them to explain what the legislation is and see if it's something that they're interested in supporting. So in terms of utilizing my time, that's where my focus would be. I think it fits under this category of other mayors, boards, and commissions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And collaborating on issues that kind of where you're in sync with,
Yeah.
water.
But I think for my purposes now, I'm not gonna get into those things with them, that's gonna be specific to this particular legislation.
Get the legislative.
It's a short window of opportunity.
Committee members online, any comments? Heather?
I've been, may I speak? I've been, reviewing also some of the water videos that, that were suggested that I look at. Very interesting, and I want to, continue to do that because I'm very interested in the Kealakekee Park. So I would like to focus on that, and whatever boards and commissions I would need to, I'm sorry, it's starting to rain, to kind of review and be a part of, maybe the open spaces, the water, maybe, and I'm also trying to get into the Tree City declaration. So I am looking into that. I'm in touch with Miriam, and I looked at the Arbor Day Foundation, still stalled there only because I don't even know how to answer their questions to get involved yet. Miriam will probably walk me through that, hopefully. And anyway, that's what I'm concentrating on. Sounds like kind of a lot. I may have to kind of narrow things down.
Related to the park, I forgot that's another one that we have.
That's a separate agenda.
Oh, no, there's but the board that's related to the park, YPAC, is, I know Boca Hui's on it. I know he's still on it, and there are other people on it, but they're the West Hawaii Parks and Athletic Complex. They're the board that's kind of supporting it from a nonprofit side. So continuing to work with them, I think would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo's been my main contact.
Yeah.
They've been really happy to be part of it. So we'll talk more about that in the part of the agenda.
Great.
Okay. Dave, any ideas? No? Heather?
Yeah, I want to look more into where we're at with the cesspool to septic conversion and see if they're looking at any better solutions than going to septic.
And that's over in
You know, that's the
environment-
Department of Environmental Management, and I just need to look into what the board might be that's looking into that. But I know that's out of the Environmental Management Department.
So with these concerns, each of us individually are on our own, as it were. I think what we have to be careful of is sunshine, that we're not, appearing more than two persons in the one place. And I think that even applies on Zoom meetings, if I'm not mistaken. What I would expect then, I guess the feedback we would expect, if there is something of interest or concern, or we should talk about, you will raise those as a for agenda item for AC and report. Is that a commitment we're making? Because that's
Yes,
okay. Okay.
Yes,
Very good. I think that in itself is progress. So I really appreciate you guys' consideration of that and your follow-up. And so we'll take it from there. And again, I think you're free to sort of just exercise whatever discretion you have or decisions you have in terms of following it. It's just the sunshine piece. And then the agenda will be reserved, for your recommendations. Are there any other discussions on item 1?
not for me.
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of discussion on that already. Okay. Is anyone wanting to testify on that?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Aloha.
Yeah, hi. Is that you, Chuck?
Yes, were you asking for testifiers?
On agenda item 1 right now, Chuck.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. I just was able to join in. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we'll go to we'll close agenda item 1 and open agenda item 2. This is neighborhood boards bill, and this is going to be discussion and potential action on whether the action committee should submit testimony to the Senate committees. Nancy, you're going to report.
I think the committee already voted to support the bill, but if we still don't have bill numbers, I communicated with the senator's office and also representatives, and the bills haven't been filed yet. And they said that they thought Friday night they would be posted. So once we have the bills and the companion bill with the bill number, then we can officially respond to them. But right now, we still don't, all we've got is a draft. Right now.
So how do if it is posted, a bill number is posted, say on the 7th, this Friday, right?
Yeah, they Senator Kanuha's office said I should check
Right.
back on the website. We thought that it showed.
Okay, so our next scheduled meeting is not until February. Between that posting and our scheduled meeting, what opportunities do we have to decide whether we want to submit something, or do we do it individually, or what process should we
Well, the
contemplate?
committee's already voted to support the bill. I guess, I don't know if we wanna draft something in advance, even though I can't submit it yet, we could vote to actually send something and I could draft it.
Yeah. Well, why don't we do this then? Why don't we see what the exact wording is on the bill number, and then we can circulate it through you or through planning. And since we already approved supporting it, if I or Nancy writes a letter, we can circulate it for sending, or would we have to have the meeting, our next meeting, in order to approve that, sending the letter? We've already approved writing one.
Right, so you want to draft it, wait for the bill number, and then
Yeah,
send
we
it
don't
to
have a
us.
we don't
Bill
know
number
what to
first.
send it to yet, because we don't know bill number, so there's.
Sorry, yeah. Get the bill number, draft it, send it to planning, have it circulated to the AC, or,
Well, make sure that it is okay to send it from this AC in support of the bill if they have a hearing in Honolulu.
okay,
Because they'll probably hear it in the House of Rep, in the Representatives and the Senate. They'll probably schedule at least a committee hearing.
Between now and our next meeting, that's what
Mhm.
Charlie's concerned about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, Mariam, do you have an
So-
answer for that?
So the question is to have the letter right now, to vote on a letter right now. You guys can spit out the general idea, like bullet points of what you guys want it to be, and then it can be drafted and finalized. And as long as it's that those ideas are all agreed upon and voted on, then we can take that and work with Nancy to draft it. And make sure the essence is the same of what is recorded in this meeting, and then that can be what gets sent out and is ready. If that's what we're trying to do.
you've read the languages in there.
Yeah, I don't think I sent you the draft, and I don't think it's not gonna change.
Yeah.
All it is gonna be a final bill with the number stuck on top, but it's it's the same draft that we voted on, and what the language is to make the chapter 92 neighborhood board legislation section that applies to neighborhood boards to make the language broader, so that committees like our committee also have the benefit of what the city and county and Honolulu's neighborhood boards can still benefit from in terms of people coming to the room and testifying on items, for example, that aren't on the agenda. Right now, we're not allowed to do that. Like, if you come in and you have something that you really want to bring to our attention, if it's not on our agenda, we're not supposed to hear it. But if we can get on this legislation through that applies to city and county neighborhood boards, and we can also apply ourselves to the same conditions, then if somebody from the public comes in and they say, hey, something just came up yesterday, I really want you guys to know about it, and we'll be able to talk about it. Right now, we can't. So that's or if we do this forum, like somebody gets sick, we have to shut the meeting down now. This would allow us to conduct the meeting as long as we don't vote on something. So it gives makes us more community friendly in terms of being more spontaneous, which all the 34 neighborhood boards in city and county Honolulu currently have that benefit. We've been having to operate at the same sunshine law that the county council that passes laws and approves budgets, are tied to. And so that's the point of getting involved with this, is to give us more flexibility. So I can explain that very easily.
You just spoke about that.
Yeah,
I
so.
can explain that very easily in a testimony.
So the language is the description says, defines community outreach board to mean a board established to serve in a community advisory capacity under a county commission or a county department, includes community outreach boards in existing provisions of the Sunshine Law relating to neighborhood boards. Authorities, neighborhood board, and community outreach board members to organize meetings or presentations related to official board business statewide.
The problem is, how this got to be is that the neighborhood board folks in city and county got that amendment to the Sunshine Law in 2008. Of course, we didn't even have CDP action committees in 2008. So they were the only game in town doing what we're doing and doing what they're doing, which is basically what we're doing. So that was the only term they knew, was the term they adopted for themselves. If we would have been already up and running at that time, we would have collaborated on that bill in 2008 and made the language broader. So it puts a generic definition instead of the respect the neighborhood board definition. So that community outreach committee makes a more generic statewide definition instead of being stuck with neighborhood boards, which is misleading. So that's only specific to city and county Honolulu.
I have the letter you guys submitted last year, February. I'm going to share that right now. Another option is we could, tinker with this draft here. This is the cover letter. Can you all see that? Okay. This is the cover letter that we created, and then this is the letter that you guys put together that just kind of, briefly kind of goes introduction of the AC, and then kind of basically says that you support that bill. Do we want to keep the testimony to provide the state legislative to be like general like this, or do you guys want to go into and mention like excerpts of the bill to support and highlight? Or do you want to do something similar like this, and then we just update it with the appropriate bill number once that gets released?
Yeah, the bill got introduced on our behalf last year, but there was a technical problem with the title, and so it got stalled in committee. So we're kind of going through this second year in a row. I can't read the text, so does anybody read it? Does that look like it's enough?
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
so John.
Yeah, I think it's enough. I mean, I think general is fine.
Okay, all right, that's fine with me.
It's like you said, it didn't get killed because of they were questioning the actual test. It got killed because
The title was, they said that the title didn't apply to the content of the bill, and once the bill gets introduced, apparently you can't change the title, so this got stopped. It got deferred is what they said. Deferred. So, yeah, if you guys think this is general, then we could just do this again and put a updated bill number and for
Yeah.
House and Senate on it.
Right, for House and Senate.
Yeah, because
We
we
wanna-
got a companion bill in the House, which we didn't have
Right.
last year.
Okay. Miriam, does that work for you?
Yeah, so I think you just make a vote on this, and then we can work once we in the next few weeks, once we hear and we see what's happening over there, we can update it properly, and we'll send it to get finalized and to put chair signature and then submit it. But
Okay,
I need you guys' vote first.
Yeah, well, I'll make the motion. I'll motion to once the final bill numbers come out, update this with the bill numbers and the date likely, and resubmit this to the Senate and House.
Okay, I'll second that.
okay, so, just one point of clarification though. We're gonna submit it if they hold, a committee meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we'll have to focus on it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so is there any discussion on the motion? To redo the letter and submit it, subject to their holding a committee meeting.
If we can get this approved this year, it would really make it a lot easier for us to interact with the community and for the community to interact with us.
Yeah. You all good? Okay, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, opposing nay. Okay, hearing none, then the motion passes. No other discussion, I'm gonna move on to,
Thanks, Marion, for being able to
thank you, Mayor.
pull that up so quickly.
No problem.
Wait a minute now, okay, so, okay, number 3. Okay, so the next is the general plan discussion and potential action regarding submitting comment to the Leeward Planning Commission. As the chair, I wanna move the discussion that we have in the announcements below on committee member John Peltier to provide an update on the December 17th Leeward Planning Commission as part of this agenda item, since we've been talking about the general plan. Okay, so John, I'll have you report first before we take testimony.
Okay. Yeah, so I went and read in our testimony that we voted on at our last AC meeting. It went well. I think they were happy to see us there and talk with us. There wasn't a lot of discussion. They had one of their regular meetings earlier in the day and had been at this meeting for 3.5 hours, so they ended it early, so there wasn't any questions for us or any discussion between them or decision making, but that should be coming up at the meeting on Thursday. Yeah, in a couple days. So we plan on attending that one also and being there. I don't know if that's something we have to, well, I guess we'll discuss it maybe after we did an item, but. Yeah, but there was kind of, casual questions about it, which we didn't get into because we were at the meeting, but people showed interest, you know, in the whole media discussion, especially if it got ring a bell with a few of the commissioners.
Yeah, you want to talk maybe a little bit about the text of the letter, because I think some people there may not know what the subjects were that you provided for.
Yeah.
What position you might have taken?
Yeah, we testified on two things. One was just providing them the testimony we previously submitted on a general plan, talking about transit-oriented developments and specifying one specific part kind of in the urban area of Kona. We were really kind of broad about that at the meeting. Well, we just resubmitted our comments. And then the other thing was about the redesignation of the Hokulia property from not rural, it's going to rural agriculture, agriculture to rural, which is outside of the urban growth area. Nancy brought it to our attention and we voted on that. Saying we believe that kind of contributes to urban sprawl. It's not appropriate for the plan. And yeah.
Very good. Very good. So it was a good report. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for taking the time. And thanks for committing to continue to follow up. But it appears it was well received by the FTC. So I think that's just it was a good effort on our part in running the so I thank you for that. Okay, so the discussion is going to be on a general plan. I'll take testimony now. So Josephine, you wanted to testify on item number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so long we can hear you in this microphone.
Okay, do I sit here or?
She can move it, I think, or put a chair up closer or something, so you can sit. Yeah, just so that we have your, and state your name and
So my name is Josephine. I'm from Kona. And I'm here because a long time ago, when the Kona Community Development Plan was in the planning stages, I was involved in that. And since then, I haven't been involved in it, but at that time, I was for that period of time. And I kind of roughly remember some of the, the ideas that were thrown out there as to where these transit-oriented developments are going to occur. And at that time, I knew that there were at least 3 were going to be placed in certain locations. And anyway, that was way back in 2006. That's a long time ago. And since that time, we're now in 2025, almost 20 years later, and a lot of things have transpired since then. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but we've got a huge fire in LA that is still ongoing, I think, for over a week. That's unreal. That's unreal, okay? And all the maps that they're showing, all these homes are, just burnt to the ground. And you gotta wonder, where are these people going and how are they going to, rebuild? A lot of them won't be able to do that. And so, I guess this really hit home, or should hit home with us, because over on the other island, Maui, we had the same issue, small scale, okay? Burn everything to the ground and start all over. And guess what the outcome is going to be? It's all going to be transit-oriented developments, smart growth, 15-minute cities.
Yeah.
We don't want that here. Okay, and if you take a look at the other globally, all the other fires that have happened, same thing. The future is either a major transit through the area, a TOD, or a smart city. And back in 2006, I never heard of a smart city ever. And I never heard of a 15-minute city, ever. All I heard was smart growth, smart growth, smart growth. So we all were cheerleaders. We wanted to be involved in being smart. We didn't know what smart meant. Okay, now we know what smart means, okay? And a 15-minute city means you're under track and trace surveillance. That's what it means, just like China. Okay, that's what they do in China right now with all their large cities. Okay, track and trace, everybody. So I don't think we want to bring that here to Hawaii at all, and definitely not here in Hawaii County. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We have, Bert Matsuyama.
Yeah, my name is Maxiano. I'm basically a grocery in the community. And, first of all, I'd like to extend my appreciation to all the commissioners, committee members. You know, I know how much time, sacrifice all of you resolve to do to contribute to the direction of our community. And you know, I speak for everyone here. Mahalo plenty for all your help. And because of that, I don't want to take up too much of you guys' valuable time. I'm here primarily because of a discussion that I had with Jeff Darrow, the deputy. As you know, I have a grocery store at 180. It's part of a 5-acre parcel. And I was looking at developing a mini storage here. But when I inquired with Jeff, he said, you know, right now, your zoning, which is CP commercials, they won't allow that. However, he said the good news is the CDC is looking into incorporating that use for commercial development, village development. So I'm here primarily to see where that is at and how I can contribute to that. And, you know, perhaps the resolution would be just telling me, Bert, you will see this person and you can get an update rather than, you know, dealing with a public format like this, because that's my basic inquiry today. And that's why I'm here, to see the status of that and where it's at. How can I do to contribute to that? And I guess what is the timetable for this process where I will get an idea of whether it's going to go and when it's going to go, or you know, some timeline when the plan is going to be, I guess, accepted. Because I believe still that it's still in the process yet. It hasn't been adopted. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how ignorant I am as to.
Are you talking about where your store is down on this end? You know, where they're.
At Kuhani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw on the general plan map, they're proposing to expand the high density urban in that area. I think that's what John Darrow was talking about. That's not in there.
But he said, you know.
So I think it'll be a mapping process. My understanding is correct through the adoption of the general plan, which is going through the Leeward Planning Commission now and getting approved by the town council. So it's going to be a number of months before they approve that remapping to change that land use designation.
Obviously. So, but I thought this committee recommends, and that's part of the process by which different uses is incorporated in the revision of the plan. Is that correct?
Well, for things that this plan had already mapped, this plan didn't map that particular parcel. And so we have sort of the authority to recommend things that sort of come out of the policies that were adopted in this document. And that's why I don't, if my understanding is correct, I don't think we're really in a position to take a position on that particular parcel because of that.
No, it's under CV commercial.
Yeah.
There's all the list of uses, but mini storage is not part of it. But Jeff said that they're reviewing it and they're thinking of incorporating it into CV.
General, right, I understand.
Right.
I saw the mapping.
Oh, okay,
But
so-
it's not in this document, so then the general plan draft went ahead and initiated that. And so, sticky, like, for example, on this Thursday at 9:30 in the morning, the Leeward Planning Commission, I think they've got this on the agenda again, so, and I would say they're probably more appropriate body for you to be an advocate for that mapping of that specific parcel.
Okay. Just, thank you very much. Just one comment. I heard about, you know, the Kaliki Regional Park and the issue with water. You know, that I've been developing that parcel for the last 25 years. And we got the first round of water commitments. It's throughout all those years, there hasn't been any additional water commitments. You know, it really reflects to me the non aggressiveness of the water agencies, you know, in this area, and it affects affordable housing, recreation, and it's a shame because our people are leaving because they cannot afford. You know, there's not enough homes being built because there's not enough water commitments. You know, that's a big drag on the road in housing.
You know, like at Kona Village, they wanted to put an affordable housing project there. You couldn't get approvals for the project. As an example of what you're talking about.
So I commend you, you know, where you prioritize the water aspect because unless we overcome that or more people become aware and work together to redirect and bring more urgency to the government agencies that control the resources, you know, our people are going to be continue to leave the islands, and the culture is going to be so compromised that, you know, my children really won't even understand what really is Hawaii in the end. You know, when it gets too diluted, you know, maybe there's going to be more culture up in the mainland because more of our people are up there. You know.
Move to Vegas.
I think you could probably bring that up at that meeting if you
Yeah.
have a chance to attend on Thursday morning at 9:02, because I think that would be appropriate. So,
Yeah.
and for the general plan discussion. If they get out there early and signed up to testify, it would be
You bring up very good subjects.
Thank you.
Thank you for your thoughts.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, next I have Rebecca Melendez. Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you for listening. I'm Rebecca Melendez. So this general plan, it's a very, very vague. There's a lot of abbreviations they do not make clear. It's so vague. So page 80, page 82, page 87, they all mention, and others as well, the TDR program that the county doesn't explain. 9.F says study the feasibility issues and opportunities related to the development of a TDR program to strategically preserve open space and achieve density to remain consistent with the land use pattern in accordance with the general plan land use maps. So the land use maps are changing land use titles by privately owned people. My research to knowing exactly what the TDR program is, because the county doesn't explain it, website njaes.rutgers.edu. It states that the TDR is transfer of development rights, okay? Transfer of development rights. So basically it says, TDR program seeks to preserve landowners' asset value by moving the right to build from location where development is prohibited, environmental reasons, to a location where development is encouraged. So prohibiting development on, say, someone's property for environmental reasons, that the county gets to decide what the environmental reasons are, that is taking the rights to build on property as well as taking up rights to own property to build and live on. So this is giving the county the right to tell us where to live and where we cannot build. Page 79, 9.4, support mechanisms such as PDU. Again, the county does not explain what a PDU is. County doesn't mention what that is, and cluster plan development that group parcel density to preserve open space. Okay, so I looked up a PDU because the county didn't tell me about it. So Forbes.com says a planned unit development, or PDU, is a community of single family homes where every homeowner belongs to a homeowners association, HOA. Okay, so this looks like the county wants people to live in their units, because a PDU is a planned unit development, and collect HOA fees and have control where we live. So they're going to tell people where not to build on their own private property, but that they can live in their HOA units through the TDR program if this goes through. So page 149, 30.12, plan for broadband infrastructure to support smart grid development. And page 150, 30.B, develop standards for sitting and construction of wireless telecommunication facilities. So they say sitting, okay? Remember that word. A smart grid will allow them to have more control through remote monitoring, which will fully take our privacies away. And to create a broadband and smart grid, which is actually 5G, which they don't mention, they must lay cable, which they don't really mention. They say sitting in a lot of different areas, but they have to lay down this cable underground, everywhere. And the only word they use to explain this is sitting. So I looked up what broadband really was, which I looked it up. It says 5G, and it also talks about the cables that they need to put down, which is fiber cables. Here's on pulsefiber.co.uk. Fiber overbuilds are becoming a widespread problem after often causing mayhem on the roads with closures and roadworks, slowing traffic, which you already have serious traffic issues. I mean, how many people have been in, hours worth of, every single month it's increasing, I can tell you, because I drive a lot. So slowing traffic because it has to put it underground. So you're talking like closing off one lane. We have 2 lanes. 2, that's it. They're closing it. They don't explain this in the general plan that this is what they want to do in order to create their broadband and smart grid. And a smart grid is the heart of a smart city. So that's what comes next after this. They also the county doesn't have any research to the health risks associated with the broadband smart grid, because broadband will always be on. It's going to be near our homes. It's going to be underground. It's always going to be on. They have no research with regards to the health risks. And I got plenty of health risks that I have sent you guys in an email. And I'll send it again. I'll add more to it. They don't acknowledge any of this. They also, page 89, 13.44, and page 142, 2011. This lovely gentleman here was talking about homes that we need. Well, these 2 articles talk about resorts, talk about developing more resorts and golf courses. That's what both of them are talking about. So the thing is that the county is not acknowledging our resources. For one thing, we need homes for locals, not more resorts and more golf courses. We need homes for locals. Okay, now what they're not acknowledging are the resources. So I'm just going to read you a couple titles here of our resources. The West Hawaii Sanitary Landfill, the only remaining landfill on the Big Island, is forecast to reach capacity within the next 20 to 25 years. And I actually sent you, I've sent you all of these research links that you can read in your email. Another one, talking about water. Hawaii water supply closely monitors as severe drought continues on Big Island So, the story, officials say special focus will be placed on the South Kohala water system, which is more susceptible to drought. You guys have the link. Helco, we're talking about Helco now. Helco, has rolling power outages. Okay, and that was February 13, 20 this year, 2024, not February 13 last year. That was power outage. I've had 3 personal power outages in my home, 3 in 2 weeks. Okay, we do not have the power, the amount of power that will be needed for the underground wires, fiber cables that they want to put everywhere. It's going to cost billions for one. We don't have power for this. We barely have power for what's developed now. And we have years worth of future developments that have already been approved. You know, homes and over here, you can see the development here, White Flow, all over Big Island. We have more developments happening. And today we have power outages. I don't know what's going to happen when those are going to be completed. The thing is the county, this general plan has no information on other resources. There are so many other resources. They could make it to where people have serious tax credits for getting more solar panels. There are turbine winds they can put on their homes. Every homeowner, all of the resorts, all of the vacation homes can look into other resources than Helco for power. Everybody could. They also have nothing, they have no information on, there's new inventions about the septic system. They talk about wastewater. They talk about our septic system, how we're having issues with it. But yet they don't offer any ideas. The Cinderella Cinder toilet. I don't know if you guys know about this toilet. It's freaking awesome. It's a toilet that burns all of our waste into ash like that. It's like an oven underneath it. And it's a little pricey, but it's going to be a lot less than putting everybody into the septic system. They're not even looking at these inventions. There are other countries that have way more population than us, way more. And they have new inventions for their landfill, okay? And the county's not looking about how does countries who have overpopulation deal with their landfill? They do it very innovatively. And why not look at these other ways, traditional ways? Hey man, it's not happening anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because we're having issues with water, we're having issues with power, we're having issues all over. And we need to start looking at more innovative ways to help the island and not cause more traffic by our roads. There's no way that they can increase the infrastructure. You got one cliff here, you got one mountain here. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 roads. If there's no way of increasing the infrastructure, but yet they want to block off one of our roads to put their fiber cables so they can build their smart grid and their broadband, which is 5G. You know what I'm saying? So
Can you summarize?
that's about it. That's about it. I sent you guys. I got like I think the email I sent you is pretty long.
Who did that go to? I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask the same question.
Oh, okay, LCP testimony, W.
So send it to the land use commission that is receiving the general plan input. That was a,
Yeah.
but then you didn't send it to us, you sent it to the land use commission.
Oh my goodness, okay,
Plan.
so,
Yeah, we're not playing.
okay,
But
so,
they're the ones that you send your email to the right people, because they're the ones that are making the recommendations.
okay,
We're testifying like you are, we have our own opinions, and we're making our testimonies like you are.
But
oh,
we can't change it.
But you can, but you sent your ideas to the right people, because they're the ones that have to like contemplate on things we're saying or you're saying and make recommendations.
so they can see this video.
No, we didn't
Okay.
see it. It didn't come to us.
Oh, I mean, like my testimony here, are they gonna see it?
No.
Okay, then I'm confused why I'm here.
I'd like to know, who are they?
You talk about the Leeward Planning Commission's where the
come up with this general plan 24?
planning department came up with the general plan, and then they release a final draft.
get that from Pasqua?
Uh,
Because it's definitely
seem
to be a UN agenda.
Yeah, let's
So,
stay on the agenda.
Yeah.
So you're,
you guys wanna see it?
well, if you were here for the very first business item, this committee has
I'll
been.
wait.
Okay, so this committee has been discussing for a long period of time how we can be more effective,
Oh,
and it's through collaboration.
okay,
So we are one committee
okay,
within a whole group of advisory committees within the county that are supposed to support the county in its decision-making on general plan issues on.
Not necessarily support if we take, if we don't
Well,
agree, we can all disagree.
Support also means disagree.
Yes,
You know, they make it, if we disagree, that's fine, but that's supporting a decision. So it's not as simple as discussing it here. You do need to get your concerns in the right venues as well. So the Leeward, everything you brought up, if you bring it up with the Leeward Planning Commission, I think that's something more something that they will need to contemplate and have to digest. We can make a recommendation to that, but they're the ones who are gonna make the recommendation to the planning department on all the things that you
so
suggested.
should I send you guys my,
oh, I think it's out of the league really with us.
Yeah,
okay,
so all that information is located on their websites. So if you want a copy of the minutes of this meeting, you can go there, and so can Leeward Planning Commission, but we don't. We
It's
don't
more
network,
direct
and
to-
this is where we are trying to take an initiative to do a better job at that. So hopefully that occurs across the administration, but
okay,
we all need to work, and we're all part of it, not just us. you know.
okay,
They're meeting again in the council chambers on Thursday.
Yeah.
Discuss the matter.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And what they do is they take our input and your input, and they talk about it, and they decide what sort of recommendations they're gonna pass up to the town council, who ultimately makes the decision whether they make the plan the law or make amendments or.
Yeah, the council's.
And will we have a meeting with the council?
Yeah.
Lots of meetings.
Yeah.
Lots of opportunities.
Oh, I just thought it was gonna be next month in Macau, but now not.
It's gonna be long.
It's gonna go on for quite a few months.
Probably, at least half.
Okay, great. That's so good to know. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for clearing this up and helping me understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so, Robert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so much to say, but Cal K. Harry, it's a forum, so Robert Hayes. I mean, I was here at the last meeting. I mentioned about in the discussion of this general plan 2045, and was explaining the simple basis of that climate change has everything to do with the amount of sunlight that reaches the earth, and that's the simplest form of everything that this is going on. When you reduce the amount of sunlight, if you were to shut the sun off for 2 days, the entire planet would freeze. This has nothing to do with CO2 at all. The amount of CO2, does everybody in this room know? Actually, the amount of CO2 that's in the air at this time. Anybody know the amount of CO2 that's in the air at this time? Anybody? 0.04%. How much of that is created by human beings? 0.03%. If you were to actually go back to a zero carbon base in the air, you would kill all plant life on planet Earth because that is plant food.
Can you link that to the general plan?
Well, the general plan, if you're going to talk about rezoning people's properties in these aspects of some type of climate crisis, when in actuality right now on the mainland, there's a massive polar vortex that's hitting the entire United States. These are record breaking, right? So if you're going to go with this climate crisis as a narrative, but you're not going to actually look at what's taking place like that. So I'm going to just give you in 2021 was one of the December 21st of 2021 was the largest eruption in the recorded history was from the Hungai volcano in Tonga. It was the largest. Hungai volcano was a submarine volcano, meaning it wasn't so deep in the ocean that the ocean could absorb all of it. It was just below the ocean surface. So from the the December 21st of 2021, all the way to January 15th, right? This thing erupted. It kicked billions of gallons of water into billions of gallons of water into the outer atmosphere. In that water was laced sulfur dioxide. That's our ball, right? It's a white ash. It reflects sun back into space. Every time Kilauea increases its average day is 5,000 tons a day. When it goes off, it increases to 15 to 20,000 tons a day. That blankets this entire ocean, right? So it's actually not allowing the sunlight to normally warm the ocean, that's the current in this area, which doesn't change the temperature here. It changes the temperature relative to somewhere else. So the Hungai volcano, what happened was it kicked billions of gallons of water into the outer atmosphere, right? And that was laced with sulfur dioxide. So therefore, you basically blanketed the entire ocean. You can go online and look up Hungai volcano and watch from satellite pictures the plume cloud and what it did over that time. So basically what you've done is you registered 1 year later that the Australian summer was 1 degree cooler on an average. So everything has to do in climate change with the amount of sunlight that reaches the earth. And that Hungai volcano is causing these massive polar vortexes that have come down with. It's hitting Texas. It was snowing last year in the wintertime in Texas, which it just doesn't do. You know, areas that are getting 10 inches, 20 inches of snow, they're getting 200 inches of snow right now. That started January 6th January 6th of this year, 2025. So what you're seeing is a counter reaction to all that sulfur dioxide that was kicked into the outer atmosphere. These are the things, these are not narratives. These are objective facts that we all have to seriously look at. Because if you're going to sit around wasting money on some kind of climate crisis, where oceans, and I said this in the last meeting, I said the first thing I said was it determines how much sunlight reaches the earth. Then I explained to the panel that if you look at tectonic plate movement, the entire Atlantic Ocean is drifting apart. Where do people think when the magma that comes up to replace that solidifies, where do you think all the heat goes? It goes into the Atlantic Ocean. It's impossible to read tidal changes or rising of tides in one area of the planet when that is taking place. So when you look at Greenland, how violent this continent or this landmass that's drifting apart, it's constantly volcanic. They have to move towns in order to deal with it like that in Greenland. All these things come to play. Even now, there's some extremely large corona sunspots where the sun spit off a section of the sun and left a sunspot. That spot is no longer creating any sunlight.
I'm sorry, I have to bring you back to the general.
I'm
Recommendations.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I understand all
But
the things you're saying.
When we're dealing with the 2045 and some kind of climate crisis that's created by narrative, there's objective facts research. Now, one thing I'd like to say is there's a company called WaterGen, and they have apparatuses that can actually pull water from the air. If there's an issue with water, you can buy an apparatus that will pull 1,500 gallons a day. Okay, last thing I want to say is on what she said in the very beginning is the fact of the matter is that 3 weeks to the fire, Josh Green signed an emergency proclamation that caused all those people unable to move back in and rebuild all those endemic people, to rebuild their own properties. So that to me sounds like not the very most up and up in the aspect of how you're supposed to take care of the people that you're representing in this aspect. So anyways.
Any questions for them?
So
Any questions online?
Are you also bringing these to the Leeward Planning Commission?
what's that?
These concerns to the Leeward Planning Commission?
I'll be there if it matters. So I'll say the same things that I just said, you know, in relations to climate narrative.
Well, that's a wonderful, wonderful thing that you brought out and how true it is on the true nature of this planet and what is happening. And then these people who want to have a narrative and make it into something catchy.
That's right.
Thank
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for this.
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Planning commission.
Yeah.
Is there a will? I'm sorry, I can't get the last name.
it's your comments.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I couldn't get the last name.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Will.
I'm well heard. I'm a farmer, going out now, it's Hawaii, the best place in the world. And I appreciate your all being here. On the general plan, I heard about the general plans being changed just a few weeks ago. And since then, I have contacted a lot of my fellow farmers in the neighborhood, and nobody knows about the general plan being changed at all. And the ones that I have contacted to know about it have some issues with the changes. I would ask that before this bill, which has taken so much effort and time, be enacted, that some more time is taken so that people know that it's actually happening, is going to change. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'd be good to pass that on to the lead commission.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have to, we don't have the authority to stop it or speed it up or slow it down.
Okay, so that's
But
the
they-
next meeting.
That's the one on Thursday, yeah. That's gonna be the council chambers.
I'll show up.
Will, I have one question. So if it needs more sharing, how would you suggest that be done?
That's a problem, and I don't have an answer for you.
Okay.
Because nowadays, the world is so different, and people are getting their information. However, you know. I don't have a really good suggestion for you, but I'm hoping that you can collaborate and come up with something. Because honestly, 10 out of 10 people I ask don't know them. You know, people just don't know that this is happening. And I think that is a problem.
The West Florida ladies before there was much more effective to get the word out.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But those days are gone.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
That's
People
gonna be
just sort of gloss over the puzzle,
It's
but
frustrating.
it's not that
They really serve that role.
Exactly.
When we look into the other right.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Those are the only requests I have here in writing, present with the audience. Oh, you still have, okay, did you fill one of these out? No.
Yeah.
You didn't? Oh, okay. Can you do that just so that we have a record? I think the forms are here. I thought. And you're testifying on what? Agenda item 3?
The general plan.
Okay. And Elizabeth as well? Yeah. Okay, so, Shelley?
Yes.
Yeah. You wanna
Okay.
go?
We also have somebody raising their hand on second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Who?
Jewel Rain.
You had a question?
Oh, no, I just want to testify on the general plan.
Okay, I'm gonna get to the online as soon as I
Yep.
finish who's present.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you can state your name.
Okay, hi, my name is Shelley Davis. And what else?
What would you like to comment on?
I'm here to comment about the general plan.
Right.
Okay, first of all, I would like to know how come all the homeowners on the island and all the landowners and farms weren't notified about this plan being drawn up so they could have their say in it, especially the Hawaiian people. You know, me and my family, we moved here years ago because we love Hawaii because of the culture, the people, the love, the aloha. It's like nowhere in the world. And please put the people of Hawaii first. Please put the property owners' rights of Hawaii first. And I want to know what the county is going to do to protect homeowners' rights from confiscation of their land. Because it sounds to me like in this plan, they're trying to take us by pulling our land out from under us rather than burning us like they did on Maui. Sounds to me like it's a UN plan. Sounds to me like it's from Davos, Carl Schwab, the whole group of the evil people that are killing children, all of our children, all the people that, and all the children that have disappeared here, they say they call them runaways. It's going on all over the world, and it's just insane how many places they've ruined. North Carolina, Greece, all these beautiful places they want to keep in their pocket for themselves. And they want to turn them into smart cities because they want to be smart people, and they want to, not literally, because they're very dumb actually, because the way we were brought up, the way we were raised, you know, live on the land, you make your fruits and vegetables, you grow them, you eat them, you share them with your neighbors. That's the aloha spirit. That's the love that we have here in Hawaii. And I don't believe that this plan has anything to do with wanting to keep the Hawaii the way it is. I feel it wants to just smash everything about Hawaii under its feet. Who wants to live in a city with a bunch of wires and fiber optics under the ground, 5G coming up through the ground? Do you think we want to live in that? You know how toxic that is? I have a water heater switch on my Wi-Fi at home. So my Wi-Fi goes off at 8 o'clock at night and comes back on at 8 o'clock in the morning if someone wants to use it. Otherwise, you can switch it on when you want to use it, switch it off. Because I don't want the Wi-Fi coming through my house and ruining my cells. I opted out of that disc you put on the side of your house because that's poisoning your bodies inside your house. And it's just insane. And there's so much. I didn't really get to read all of it because I've been working and I have a lot going on. Bibles, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, never mind all the stuff, but I just found out about this like 2 weeks ago. I have told so many people, they're like, what? They can't even believe that they were not informed. Could have put a postcard in the mail to everybody that has an address here, all around the island, so people could speak up and share their thoughts and feelings about this. I think that they need to add a clause. Okay, do you think it's lawful and okay to confiscate people's property that they worked hard for to make a home for their family?
just want to rip it out from under it by changing your zoning laws. And then as far as the zoning laws go, is there a potential with this plan for local government to drive current landowners off their land? Because that's sure what it sounds like, because their farm home or farmer home falls or land falls in the rural or conservation or natural designation. This is a bunch of hogwash. This is like, nobody legally can ever do this. You can't just take people's land from them that they paid all their hard-earned money for all their life and invested and had families in and have memories in and have fruit and vegetables growing, and they just want to, if you're in the wrong zone, they're just gonna pull it out from under you. That's not right. That's not right. God forbid, God, oh my gosh. That's a whole nother subject, that this is not a godly situation in any way whatsoever. God would never want his people living like this or doing this to other people. It's so wrong. And with the plan, I wanted to ask, I think it's lawful and okay to confiscate people's property that they work hard for to make homes for their family. And are you gonna add a clause to the plan that grandfathers in all current homeowners and landowners' property rights? Is it gonna grandfather in the people that have already lived here and made a home here, or are you gonna just make them homeless? Are you gonna put them out on the streets and make them homeless? I mean, we have fighting homelessness everywhere, all over the world, and then you want to pull this plan and pull the rug out of people? It's not right. So, it sounds to me there's potential with this plan for local government to drive current landowners out of their land because their farm falls in a rural conservation or natural designation. The county should never be promoting homelessness. There needs to be a definition of all land use added to it specific. So it's specific, like it doesn't tell you what rural is, it doesn't tell you what natural is, and it doesn't tell you what conservation is. When you look at the map, it doesn't explain anything. The TDR, yeah, there's no definition. You have to go look it up. All this stuff in here, all these 3-lettered things, like we're supposed to know what they are. I mean, that's like, okay, let's hide it over here under these 3 little letters. And we can hide this from the people so they don't really know what's going on. This is so wrong. This is so wrong. Okay, so controlled by local government under current laws and under effective means. Okay, there needs to be a definition. Okay, controlled by local government under current laws and other. I left my notes at home and had to get them pictured and sent to me on the phone, so to write them all down. Controlled by government. Okay, what does that mean? It says in your plan, controlled by local government under current law and other effective means. What does the other effective means mean? That's what I would like to know. And you know, we're just asking you to put the people of Hawaii first. Please put the property owners' rights first. You know, we love this island. We've lived here forever, and we don't know any other way of life. And this is not right. This plan is not right. And I would make a proposal that they send a postcard to every homeowner and every landowner and let them be a part of this plan. That's the Hawaii way. That's the Aloha way. We do things together. We don't do things to try to pull rugs out from under people. We love one another. This is the most godly nation in the world. This is Hawaii is Hawaii. It's just beautiful and full of love. And we'd like to keep it that way and not be put in cities or be put in government housing downtown so you can keep track of us and put a stamp on us or whatever you want to do. You know, that's not the Hawaiian way. We need to stay natural. We need to stay the way it is. You know, it's beautiful the way it is. I'm so grateful that our industrial area is off the town, so it's away from the town. You know, so we have a beautiful town, and you know that we try to keep things beautiful. This is not gonna be beautiful what they're gonna plan on doing, and there's no electricity for it. There's no water for it. There's no water for even to make new houses for the locals that need housing. There's so many people homeless, even people that are in their 80s that have had houses that already got pulled out from under it for other reasons. You know, it's just sad. It's really, really sad. And I just hope I totally am against this plan, against it all the way, 100%. And I'm gonna let everyone know that I know. So this is not right, and I don't know what else to say. I just
Well, summarize.
thank you for letting me make a statement. Please don't do this. Please don't do this to the people of Hawaii. All I gotta say.
How can we squash this whole thing?
Yes, squash the whole thing.
Hi, Chair. Sorry to
go
interrupt,
ahead.
but I just want to let you know that I will need to be stepping out. But I have Janice and Cabello and Jess all online here to help support you guys.
Okay.
And I just want to say a gentle reminder to everyone, Planning Commission's meeting will be this Thursday. And your testimony there regarding the draft plan is of course welcomed. And that this body is not a decision-making body, solely advisory, that can provide recommendations or requests to the Planning Commission if they get to the moment of voting on it within their meeting. You guys have about 40 minutes left and a few other items on the agenda to discuss. So I just wanted to put that out there. As always, Chair has discretion when it comes to limiting testimony. Okay.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a quick question about the Leeward Planning Commission, if this is the last meeting, because it looks like the other meetings have been canceled? Move that go all the way into March.
I believe they have other meetings scheduled for February, if I'm not mistaken.
They're not on the county calendar, so that's the Windward Planning Commission meetings are all the way into March, but the Leeward is not. So if you could clarify that.
I will. Let me go check in with Planning Commission staff and see if I can get an answer to you guys before the end of this meeting.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, and there's 3 more people who signed up. I just want to remind people, first of all, the general plan is really mandated by law. It's got to be updated. It's required to do, and I think that is good planning, because the general plan is not a forever plan. People change, conditions change, so the plan's got to be updated. The fact that it may not have been communicated well, and this general plan is not new. It's pulled from the old general plan and then updated, you know, based on current conditions. Based on what Miriam says, our time is we're going to adjourn it too. So I'm going to ask people to please, you know, try and summarize their thoughts if they can. I'm pretty generous with giving time, so I'll give you that. So
Can I make a comment?
yeah, go ahead.
I want to explain again, we had this on the agenda so that we could discuss it, to see if we wanted to make any reactions, but the people that, the concerns that you're sharing about the general plan, they're kind of, you're kind of expending your energy in a misplaced location. It's the Leeward Planning Commission that's actually charged with taking this information and deciding what recommendations to make, whether there needs to be more public meetings or whether the text needs to be changed, and then they make an official, they have an official responsibility to then make recommendations for amending or have more hearings, and then that goes on to the county council. We're not in that loop really. We're kind of a separate committee that has our own concerns that we're throwing out there, but they're the actual decision-making body. So your concerns about their process, we don't have any ability to do anything about it, but we should go to their meeting on Thursday. They're the body that has that authority.
Quick question. The Leeward Planning Commission, are they appointed by another agency, the mayor? That's the old mayor?
Or the new
But the
mayor?
new-
Yeah, I think the ones that are there are all appointed by the old mayor.
They're on like a specific term, so they didn't get reappointed when the new mayor came in, and they're on term that gets, whenever that term's over, then they get reappointed.
Oh, they're on specific terms, so they'll. How
They'll
long
term
is that?
out.
You know what those terms are?
But they're online, if you go to their
Oh,
website, I know everything's on there about.
Yeah, they do it in the Leeward Planning Commission, I think it lists them all and when their terms expire. I think they have one vacancy now or something. I think so.
There's
I think
vacancies.
they have one vacancy.
Yeah, so it's kind of rolling too, they don't all overturn it.
Well, we don't have like legal authority in terms of, ordinances, we can, for advisory, but they're in the loop as far as making recommendations for laws, and that's the general plan on the law, so. The Leeward Planning Commission and the Leeward Planning Commission, they as, advisors to laws, make recommendations to the county council, right? And then it goes through the process all over again. So it's gonna go through them, then it's gonna go to the planning committee, then it's gonna be full council, we're gonna be lots and lots of meetings over the next few months.
Do you know where these people are generated from? Are they part of county council members or?
They apply and they have to go through some sort of vetting process and the mayor makes recommendations and the council approves them.
Well, you're saying, I thought you said the mayor.
Appoints them.
Yeah.
The council has to approve them.
Yeah.
Oh, the mayor appoints them and then the council approves. them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need a whole
And-
town.
And they
Yeah.
they try to bring as many regions and disciplines onto the commission as well. So you'll hear, like, we introduced ourselves, where we're from. And so, they're cognizant of the fact that they need regional representation too, as well as cross-discipline, in terms of their backgrounds and whatnot. So they try to do the best they can, but it's, right now, there's vacancies on this committee. So it's not easy to fill. Yeah.
Well, we just didn't want you to burn yourselves out.
Right.
And you were talking
Yeah.
to the rock, the people who don't really have.
We're just warming up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Elizabeth Cook is on the hot seat next then. Did I call? No.
You listen.
No.
Okay, Stan.
Oh.
Okay, see, there's.
And then,
Well, I've got this written, so I'll
yeah.
try to read fast. My name is Elizabeth Cook. I live in North Kohala. My first impression of the 2045 general plan for the community provided was that this is not organic. That's the first thing that I felt. That's my feeling. My second objection to it was the multiple use of the word stakeholders. I understand that words have been changed in some, some of them have been taken out and replaced. But that was the stake in my heart, who holds the stake and who holds the hammer to drive this plan. My next objection is the very notion that our elected representatives would abdicate their responsibility by turning their authority and their responsibility to people to an unelected planning commissioner. It feels like an attempt by an elite class to herd the people, the plebes, the sheeple into line. I object to cluster projects over organically developed community projects where the people take responsibility for their neighborhoods and their neighbors and their communities. I object to the taking of land and rezoning without consent of farmers, homeowners, business owners, residents, and locals. Neighbors help each other. The government, despite its best intentions, often shows up late. And you can see by the disasters across the nation and across the world, this is the way, that it's the volunteers who show up first. We, the people, want to plan our own communities. We want our elected official office holders, servants to listen to us and to act in our interest, not the interest of anyone, air quotes, who has an interest in our diverse communities. I respectfully and prayerfully submit my testimony to the committee and to the people. Except the Lord build the house, the builders, the planners, labor in vain. I reject this plan and request that it be tossed and a new plan be created by the people. It is okay to start over. If we confess our sin, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sin and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Let us start over with a clean slate. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I ask, the first thing you said, you didn't feel it was organic.
Yes.
What gave you that feeling?
Cluster.
Stakeholders.
Right.
Fiber under the ground units. Wi-Fi everywhere.
And just so one point of clarification, it will go in front of council too. And they'll be
Yes.
if they do answer to us.
Yes.
So it's important. to do
Yes.
this.
Thank you. Yes, and. Well, I don't go on, but yeah, I only found out about this because I have a friend who is in communication with, you know, with our county government, I guess, I think that, and so. So that's how I found out.
So, Randy? Lucas or?
Hello, everyone. My name is Randall Barr, and I live in Kona. I'm the general manager of a local FM radio station called Kona 100.5. We are a legal FCC radio station. And one of the things that I wanted to add, and first off, I want to thank every one of you who have given testimony, because it just seems like there's a heart in this. And all of us are here. I'm here because I love this island. And even though I certainly do not look like I'm local in my heart. And that to me is the best thing that any human being can have for a space. Our radio station, how many of you have ever heard of 100.5 on your radio dial? No. That man has? No, okay. And I want to address the issue of the person who left as a farmer in Kona. I had an organic farm in Kona for 12 years. I know what that man was talking about, because we're not listening to the radio, we're not watching television, we're not doing that. What are we doing? We're working on the land to grow food for people. The farmers do not make a lot of money. They have something that is, and as you said, that's an organic type of monopoly. We want to work with the land, we want to feed the people. And this 2045 agenda plan, whatever you want to call it, I mean, as we look in regards to what's going on in the world, to me, from my perspective, Paradise was one. Behind was another one, happened in Greece. It's happening in California right now.
North Carolina.
Yeah, in North Carolina. All I want to say is this, is that these things, and when you pointed out that it's the law to create a new plan, all right? She put it perfectly. The thing is that these plans, from my perspective, I'm only talking about myself, are not for the people and the planning, especially of this island. This is an agricultural island. This doesn't need any more of, as what people were saying, smart meters, 5G, all of these other things that, you know, take away or monitor us. I mean, smart meters, people don't realize what goes on. How many of you know what a smart meter really does?
Blows up houses.
No, I'm not talking about blowing up a house.
Your TV
I'm talking
watches
about-
you.
What?
Your TV watches you.
Well, I mean, look, this is something that is an observation type of perspective. What we are attempting to do through our radio station, we call ourselves the Voice of Kona. What we do is that we have issues like this that go out into our community so people can make a decision. In regards to, I really, you know, enjoyed the fact of like having someone send out to the residents of the Big Island what a 2045 general plan is, so that people know. No one knows what it is. The only way that I know is thank God for Rebecca and her sister Michelle, who, you know, who have a voice, who are saying, hey, wake up, you guys. I mean, come on. And what you were saying about water is an issue. The thing is that, I went to the southern of Oman. You know where that's at? That's on the Arabian Peninsula. You know how they make their water? They do desalinization plants, which to me is something, and you were saying that there's technology. Why are we not using this technology which is available? What's going on? You know, what is happening? Who is putting the, you know, the gavel down and saying, oh no, we don't want to look in this direction. Everyone look in this direction because this is where it's at, because it's climate change.
Yeah.
Look, climate change for a certain perspective is real to an extent. The bottom line is that what we have to do as, especially this Big Island community, I mean, I'm looking at, I love Maui, I was there, I know it, breaks my heart. Southern California, that I grew up there. But the bottom line is this, is that we have to look at the options. And when you go through this general plan, stakeholders, I mean, come on, who's a stakeholder in this? I really, you know, it breaks my heart. I don't know who they are. And it's so vague. And one thing I'm just asking for, and you know, I'm asking this committee, and God bless you for being here, is just hearing us and have the possibility of giving a recommendation to the people of this land and just have your power, because this is what we're here doing. We are just expressing ourselves as citizens of the Big Island, and that's all we can do. So thank you so much.
And we appreciate that.
Thank you for taking the time to bother.
Yeah.
And so whose phone is this?
There's a phone. Okay, is there any perspective out on how any of this plan works for the people and helps the people?
I think it'd be a good question to ask for legal check.
Yeah, I'll be there on Thursday.
Some things it said that I found to be good for the people. Like these, yeah, some things, but yeah.
I'm Michael. Randall's partner in the radio station.
You put yourself down like that too.
And yeah, my introduction to Hawaii County government came in 1996 when I moved over to Maui. Real quick synopsis, because it has a certain relevance to parallel to what we're going through here, which is back then transition from sugarcane into monocrop eucalyptus plantations involved getting rid of the sugarcane. The way they did it was they applied fuselage Agent Orange ingredient and Roundup to the stumps and then burned it. County didn't seem to have a problem with that. State didn't seem to have a problem with that. We had to alert the community as to what was happening. I was traveling back and forth from Maui, the third trip over. Eyes were watering. Yeah, they just did this thing where they're burning all this sugarcane with this poisons on it. Like what? So we have hours upon hours upon hours of meetings. And finally, it came time for the DLNR to come over to the Hanaka Gymnasium. And because they were prospecting to use county and state lands to be leased to the timber companies in order to expand this project, conceivably to use it as a pulp mill. And obviously, once the public became informed of that, they were outraged and they came out in full force. It was a full court press against this process, and it did ultimately get voted down, but it did take a tremendous effort out of that. Like no one was getting paid from our end. We were having to do all the testimonies.
And the reason why I make that emphasis is that the clarity needs to be up front whenever we're making major changes to our environmental conditions. So before, as a prerequisite to any changes that take place, be sure and, like they say, alert the public that these things are happening. We now have a radio station. We could put out as much information as is necessary to clarify on these points. And the second thing is to tie the people in that are making these recommendations. Let's understand where they're coming from. Let's understand their backgrounds, AKA Mayor Ariyoshi Yamashiro at the time. He was a legal representative for OG Timber, who was directly involved with the project, conflict of interest there. And I suspect that a lot of the people that are providing these recommendations for these changes all have ties to some corporation, some other entity that works outside of this little cocoon that we're working in, and are making the decisions for us. And I think we need to make those very clear right up front that, hey, this person is tied to this. They're recommending this, why? And you know, like I said, the use of the term stakeholder seems to be objected to on a number of levels because it implies, I think what they're trying to say is landowner, but they can't say landowner because, oh, maybe they don't 100% own the land. It's owned by a bank or some other ubiquitous entity that we don't know about. And so therefore they use the term stakeholder. I don't know if that's the reason, but we need some clarification on what they truly do mean by stakeholder. And if it means anything other than the interest of that land by the individual person occupying that land, then they need to recognize the exception. Secondly, I think there's a lot to be said that if, say, clustered housing, for instance, if the group of us here wanted to get together and own a property somewhere, I don't know, for some farmland or something, and we all wanted to farm some crops, could we do that? I doubt it. But yet they're saying that, well, let's bring all these people together and force them into this type of thing. Now it's legal. But if we wanted to do it voluntarily, and maybe we could test out some of these ideas that are coming up, we could find, I bet you we could find some volunteers that would say, yeah, okay, let's try this. Let's try and do, who we have maybe 15 or 20 people all, you know, doing their own thing, but with a common infrastructure. And let's see how that will work first before we just decide to make a blanket statement for forcing people into a situation that they would rather not participate in. It's like a test kit, essentially. It's a petri dish, if you will, just to see what will work, what won't work. Not forcing the issue, but introducing it and then finding out what the problems are, either solving those problems or dropping one and replacing it with another. And I won't take any more time. So one just responded to introduce those.
Yes, thank you. That's very informative. Yes. Yeah. I think that completes everybody in the room. I'm gonna go online. Who do we have? You?
We had Joel, but they said they're going to log off soon, so they're not gonna testify.
Okay.
No, I'm here.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
You ready for me?
Yeah.
I guess they are testifying.
Yeah. Who's
Hi, my name is Jewel and I'm sorry.
Okay, is that?
Yep.
Jules?
Jewel.
Jewel, okay.
Aloha, I'm Jewel Rain and I have a farm down near Millilee. And I am so grateful for you guys. You really seem like caring, loving, and concerned. And I've been to some of the planning commission meetings and they're not. They really are into this agenda. And I don't know, like people have said, like who's what's how are they being rewarded for running this UN agenda, which is basic communism. And it's coming in fast, really, really, really fast. And other people have pointed out, started with Paradise, Maui, Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, California. Kona to me, with this parking situation, it's sort of the beginning of another little smart city there, like, because who can go shopping or even work down there? Too expensive to park. But and I don't want to go on and on because I understand that you guys are just giving the recommendation, but I'm 100% against this thing, 100% against it. I mean, that Gavin Gruesome, he just came out, he actually calls it a Marshall Plan, LA 2.0. It's the same thing as Joshi, it's a UN agenda 2030, he's in, those boys are in. They're making a lot of money and they think they're going to be okay, but we will not be. So if you guys have children, grandchildren, want to have any future of freedom and sovereign humanity, we got to stop this thing. And I agree, there'd be thousands of people at these meetings if anybody knew about it. So I like the idea of also sending out a postcard like that. But these people are just like, no, we've put so much work into it, we got to put it through, No, you haven't, we haven't had public opinion. So thank you, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chuck was on the line earlier. I don't know who else was up there.
Nobody else chatted and Chuck submitted written testimony.
Okay.
So we'll circulate that.
Yeah. I want to thank you all, for taking time.
Wait, Mr. Chair, I would like to testify.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I'll try to be very brief. First of all, thank you so much, Action Committee members, for making the recommendation for Hopelio to be moved back into agriculture. I wanted to let y'all know that actually they had sent a letter to the planning department previously, couple of years ago, stating that they wanted to stay agriculture. So that would be an appropriate move. As you all know, and I apologize for not being at the last meeting. As you know, I've brought up the issue of Pu'uhau, which the Hawaii Island Burial Council had designated as the entire Pu'u as a royal mausoleum, basically. And I've done the research that I sent to you is from the 1250 Oceanside Partners petition to the State Land Use Commission, as well as their supplemental environmental impact statement public notice that contains the language that justifies moving the areas that are shown on the maps that were provided to the State Land Use Commission and the Office of Conservation and Coastal Lands with their public notice. And the important statement is that the cultural preserve area that was to protect Pu'uhau states these mitigation measures will ensure that traditional and customary Native Hawaiian rights, customs, and practices will be preserved and protected in a feasible manner. This language really, I mean, it reflects the language of Supreme Court really as Charlie knows, as the chair knows, in a feasible manner. That is a big deal as far as the courts are concerned. So 1250 has already acknowledged that designating and preserving these areas is essential to protect constitutionally protected customs and practice and customary traditional rights in a feasible manner. So I would urge y'all to look at that written testimony and consider adding that to your recommendation to the Planning Commission. In addition, the issue of wastewater and the administrative order, there's 3 different administrative orders of consent that the county has with the EPA that requires repairs, retrofitting, upgrades, recycling, expansion of service areas. And it's going to be involving hundreds of millions of dollars, and yet it's not mentioned in the general plan. So I would urge the committee to consider adding that in your suggestions. In addition, the Nalahele Advisory Committee, the reason I was concerned about the Leawood Planning Commission and wondering if this is their last meeting is because at its last meeting, the Nalahele Advisory Council approved drafting a letter to the planning commissions, which will be approved at a February meeting, and then hopefully approved and submitted to the planning commissions to address the degree to which public access and trails and recreation and the Native Hawaiian rights associated with those were really gutted out of the 2019 draft general plan that had been previously submitted, and we'll be urging them to put that back in. So yeah, if y'all could get a clarification on when the meetings will be held in the future for the planning commissions and addressing those specific issues, would very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job.
Thanks, Joe.
Is there anybody else commenting on
Aloha,
aloha, sorry, go ahead. State your name.
this is Joyle Yasuda. I am originally a Hilo girl, now a kupuna in Kamawela. I would like to simply present my feelings about the general plan. Ole. Remember our Queen Liliuokalani, who in her brilliant strategy and knowledge moved forward peacefully to protect not only our beloved people, but our precious land. We as Kanaka Maoli, to relinquish land unknowingly with trickery, misleading information, a hidden agenda, suspicions, knowing deep in our na'au that something is not right. And looking back into the past, even within our family and what they have gone through and how much land they had at one time when I was a child and how little land many of them have now and have lost, including myself. I've seen the graph of the land highlighted for recreation. I'm picturing right now the Hamakua coast and the other southern tips. Do you know that many of this area designated is along the coastline? That's prime land. Why? Why do we, you all who have taken the time and the interest from your family, from your jobs, to sit on these chairs and to hear the voice of the people, why would we even want to open up the door so that the state could possibly, and more than likely, because they love our land, claim our land in the future? I mean, we gotta be akamai rather than so full of trust and aloha. And we must take a stand like Queen Liliuokalani did and say, Aole, peacefully. I'm not here to defend. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here with any hatred because many of you sitting in these chairs I know have a great heart. And remember your ancestors, your kupuna, your aunties, your uncles that you grew up with. Maybe you went fishing with or hunting with or going to the forest looking for the la'au to make lei, to weave. Everything was about the sacredness of the land because we are so unique as Hawaii people that we are the land. We are the vai. We are the lani. We are star people. We are spiritual people full of mana and mana'o. Remember, that's who we are first and foremost. We can so easily get lost and forget our ancestries' wisdoms with all the distractions of bigger houses, fancier cars, more this, more that. But remember the ancestors' endearment of the lani, the aina, the vai, the LAW, the law of the universe, the law of our akua. And we must perpetuate and keep that precious, honorable relationship with our lani, our aina, and our vai, and keep it for our people, those with koko, those with a beautiful heart, those that want to be the koko Hawaii, but their heart is captivating enough so they don't need the koko because they have the love, they have the heart connection with our beautiful Hawaii. Hawaii, ha, breath, vai, water, e, divinity. We are the living, breathing waters of divinity. Let me remind you, as a kupuna, in my 7th decade, and many of you are very young, but you have memory. Remember your connection to our beautiful aina and protect it at all cost. Because the decision you make and you promote today going to affect your mo'opuna, going to affect the generations that you have started into your lineage. And what kind of lineage you want to leave for your kupuna, your babies that have yet to be born or just have already been born? How do you want them to remember the decision you make? Oh, my kupuna protected our land so we can keep our land. Or my kupuna had the opportunity to keep our land, but failed us. I think we are writing our history for our future children. Mahalo nui for this time, for your ear and for your heart. For the highest good of all, we pule and we mahalo our God-given rights of peace with strength, of aloha with ikaika. It's a strong aloha, not to be confused as weakness. So mahalo nui. I appreciate all of you here. Appreciate all of the voices that were expressed here. So elegant with detail, but I'm just coming from the heart. I've looked at the detail and I decided to just express the voice of the people from the heart. Mahalo nui, malama, e malama pono. I yield.
Mahalo, Joya. Anyone else online want to comment about item 3?
I cannot seem to raise my hand. I'm Adrian Hugh.
I'm just raising my hand.
I can't see you.
Yeah.
My name is up there. I don't have a camera. I just wanted to touch.
Yeah.
Is it okay to speak? Or sorry, is somebody else had their hand up? I can't
Yeah,
see.
she was,
Police center.
yeah, she's been trying to get on the, who is that? Is that Claire?
Yes, yes. Aloha. Is it
Aloha.
okay to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, aloha. My name is Kale Haili Kini, and I represent myself and my family. And I thank you, mahalo for the invite. I have not been to one of these, I don't think, but I'm learning. And I do appreciate the environment, the friendly environment. I enjoy the people and how you presented and handle us. I appreciate that. I'm born on the island of Molokai, but I live in Hilo. I am against the general plan, and that would be my recommendation for your committee to be against the general plan because it's flawed in so many ways that it needs to be changed, definitely. And the land, use, that's an area that we get concerned about. I'm a part Native Hawaiian. I'm homesteader, Hawaiian homesteader. I'm on the waiting list. So I don't even have a Hawaiian homestead. And I've been on the list since 1986. And the Kalima lawsuit was just ended. So we're looking at land use and how they want to change that land use in the 2045 general plan. And for me, they need to take out the word stakeholders. They need to eliminate it completely as it is defined in the general plan 2045. It includes everyone, and it's wrong to do that. It needs to say homeowners, farmers, ranchers, small businesses, local residents, because this is our home. We need to make that decision. Stakeholders will include everyone, including billionaires, corporations, that's what it says in the plan. And with your common sense, that if you're going to allow these billionaires and corporations to come in, they will make the decisions with their money. They have more money than me or you or us combined. So they have an advantage, and I don't believe that we, the people, can afford that advantage. We will lose our homes. Another thing regarding land use, they had the trends, the challenges, the opportunities. One of the things, I think a lady spoke about it, is the homeless people. That has been going on for more than 20 years. And so all I see from year to year, more homeless, the population is increasing, and our governments have not resolved the problem. And now the government, county wants to come along and tell us that this 2045 plan is good. Well, resolve problems first and foremost, and then come and talk to us. But the homeless, this is what is important. I'm going to take this opportunity to teach you a little bit about homeless. And that is because I'm from the island of Molokai, which is where Kalaupapa is, where they house the lepers. Homelessness can cause leprosy because of unsanitary conditions and lack of proper nutrients. Okay, it's the same thing when you had sailors coming across the ocean in the old days, getting beriberi and other kinds of illnesses. Then they find out it's lack of vitamins. So now I'm giving you that information because I did research it. And there is a man in India. His name is Baba, is a nickname, B-A-B-A, Amte, A-M-T-E. If you want to research his research, he started a village and a community in India for lepers. And he is the man that found out what causes leprosy. And so that is from unsanitary conditions, okay, and lack of proper nutrients. The man is the most interesting person. He lived in that village that he built with his wife and his two sons. And the two sons became medical doctors. And he died at age 97. He never got leprosy, and he would inject himself on a regular basis with the body fluids and the blood of these leper patients. And he confirmed without a doubt, his wife never had it. She died at age 87. He died at age 95 or 96. His two sons are still alive, medical doctors. So my message is, these are facts that you need to know and start to research. Homelessness in Hawaii, we need to stop it. And also though the weather machines, these fires that are happening, and what is important to me is Lahaina. I'm from the island originally of Molokai. That's our county. Maui County is Maui, Molokai, Lanai. The fires in Lahaina is near and dear to my heart. It's caused by direct energy, weather technology. It exists. I went to school in Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska, and that's where they had their testing of the weather technology in Kona, Gakona, Kona, Alaska. And it's from the 1940s, late 40s, early 50s to this very day. That technology exists. It was created, tested, used by the United States military. And I read the book that you need to read on that is called Angels Don't Play This Harp. HAARP. They are acronyms that stand for high frequency active auroral research program. And so the book, I bought the book, I was given the book, but it caught my attention because I went to the university there. It caught my attention because the writer is Dr. Nick Begich, and his father was a longtime senator, state senator for Alaska. And now, moving forward, Nick Begich Jr. is now a politician in Anchorage, but he wrote the book in 1994. The weather machine technology exists. Please, please look it up, research, and make your decisions based on this kind of technology. If we can be on cell phones, you certainly can believe there are weather altering technology, and they exist. And I appreciate all of the people that spoke. I really appreciate the lady that talked about smart cities. She's absolutely correct. And we are here to help you decide and bring information to you that you may not know. And we do appreciate all of your efforts, the time you put in. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Mahalo.
Mahalo nui. Any questions? If not, so the prior lady, I'm sorry, she's not on view.
She doesn't have her video on, but she would
No.
still like to testify.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that for me?
Yes, sorry if I messed you up.
Okay, Adrian, you.
Yes. I really wanted to just chime in on the LA situation, similar to Lahaina. But one thing I haven't heard brought up is that one of the issues with California is that there is one billionaire couple that is diverting 60% of the public water away from the reservoirs for their own private farming businesses, right? So they own everything from palm, like all these fake, health foods, right? So the pomegranate juice, the pistachios, they want to start a war with Iran to steal their pistachios. They own the cuties, oranges that they sell at Costco, and they used public money to for this water infrastructure, and now they're taking all the water, and this is why they have no water to. One of reasons they don't have water to fight.
Adrian, I'm sorry. Before we get too far along that line, can you we're supposed to be discussing our general plan here.
Right. Well,
and I know the general plan affects all the issues that you want to talk about, but we really appreciate the comments that are germane to the general plan.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess it's all part of the same thing because, for example, like everybody pointed out, there's these stakeholders that are very, nebulous, undefined, right? This is this is like the Davos language. They talk a lot about stakeholders and they've never defined who those stakeholders are. And I guess that's where I come in with the billionaire talk, because we have billionaires buying our or donating supposedly money to our fire stations. How do we know that these people are not being given preferential treatment? Also, as far as like the smart city and the smart meters are known to explode. This is also implicated in the wildfires that we've been seeing, as well as the general infrastructure. So You know, I mean, I guess my brain is hard to separate those issues, because I think all of the language around this general plan are, you know, it parses out into all these other areas. And, you know, and if you want to truly understand what's happening, the last thing I'm going to say, I'm going to recommend a book which is available at the Hawaii Public Library called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. And it shows the systematic plan, because this general plan aligns with the systematic plan used throughout the world to conquer people in their homelands, to take land away from people, to suppress wages, to put, you know, usher people into concentration camps, you know, burn down their villages and then force them to come work for them for pennies on the dollar. So I would encourage everybody here to go download or get that book from the library. It really will demonstrate what the general plan will look like if we don't get more specific with the language, because right now as everybody else has pointed out, it is it to me, and anybody who's ever studied this subject, it's very clear that this is, you know, for everything from the septic tanks, everything is just one massive land grab. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again. Anyone else online?
We have April Lee. April, would you still like to testify?
Yeah, yes, I would. Yes, I would. Let me
Okay.
get rid of. Okay. I really want to reiterate, my name is April Lee and I'm from Hawaii, North Kohala. And what Joel Yasuda said really sparked my soul to feel like she is saying what so many of us want to say from another level, and that is maybe not the level as, you know, relating to, this is my 6th time speaking on this. So I had, you know, originally all these clauses in the plan. I went by and worked on the plan online when it was online for probably 2.5 hours, you know. I went into all these categories of drinking water, partner with government, and that's where the stakeholders are mentioned that these people are talking about. That's on page 17, item 2.9. They talk about, you know, assigning water units where they don't have anything available right now in North Kohala, and therefore we can't develop any. I mean, I have a piece of land that's owned by a client, and how can we develop a residential, which it could be zoned for, affordable apartments, a fourplex? We cannot get a water meter. I asked if I could do a laundromat here. No, you can't do. So there are things with the county that are very important. And I think that we need to hold the county more accountable. You know, there is what happened in Lahaina. I know I'm bringing this up like everybody else did, but you know, we have to be clever as a pig, you know. They are more clever than we are in many ways, and they're destroying North Kohala. They're wrecking farms right now, and there's nothing we can do about it. We need a few more abilities to take what's bothering us and what's harming our farming and deal with it. But ultimately, how do we hold the county accountable? We must have an accounting. I was a treasurer for ACLU for a state. I am accounting right now, and I have a trust account for clients as a broker. I have a degree in psychology and a major in pre-med biology, and that's all about protecting people. I am a ham radio person for the civil defense. I'm a Skywarn spotter. I watched that storm, and I can tell you that what happened with the legislature of the state of Hawaii when they went and realized they took in millions and millions of dollars for Lahaina. Do you think that that community development corporation that took that money in has ever provided an accounting? And they are taking the money away from school breakfasts and foster children and homeless, with all because, oh, we got to give the money to Maui. But let me tell you, this is the core problem, that our general plan, which is meant for the people, could end up being completely undermining the individual rights of the citizens to their Bill of Rights. And I really think that what we need to do is demand that this accounting, number one, how do we get $1 for all of Puhakuloa's lease when we don't even know what's going on up there? But I can tell you, I have stories and I have people that had to be whisked away into with the bodyguards because they were whistleblowing what's going on up there. I do think that it all comes down to the money. And what we need is this plan must reference an accounting of what comes in as money and what goes out. What contractors are working to do these contracts? Because our civil defense shelter, emergency shelter, has been repaired, its roof, 4 times. The first time years ago for $625,000. It had 11 leaks. After they finished, it had 5 leaks. This is not acceptable. We have land right now with buildings that are sitting here vacant. We need to sell these. The market is fairly good. It may not be this good, and I don't think it will in a year from now. We need the money so we can service the people. We need the money so we can provide what all these people are saying. We need to care for the Aina. We need to care for the Kapuna. We need to care to feed these people right now can't even afford, because I work at Kahala Cares. We hand out free food baskets every week, and there's more and more and more people coming, even though they come in a fancy truck. So just like there was no accounting on Maui for
Yeah,
all
David
those.
said she had to leave. And it looks like Heather's still on, but she also said she had to leave.
Okay, I just want to say, please add, please add into this plan, the actual audited accounting of every year of the county work that we are starting with this general plan. Please have how much money is going in, have it audited, how much money went out and to whom and what contractor, payroll, everything, and we can solve a lot of the problems. Thank you very much. And I appreciate your volunteer time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can we close item 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I know we're over time. We've got one more business and a few announcements.
We didn't finish discussing this item amongst ourselves as far as the meeting on Thursday. So we're suggesting that John and I go back and be available if they want to talk to us about the 2 items that we brought up, because they didn't have the time to do that. So we just wanted to talk to the community and we won't be reading the script. So there's going to have to be some opportunity for us to shoot from the hip a little bit, because we're going to be there available for them if they want to ask us questions about those 2 items. And I think it's important for us to be there to be able to respond. So I just wanted to bring that up, and I think, and do you have anything to say?
Yeah.
And so that's what we wanted, because they didn't have an opportunity to discuss the 2 items we raised.
And they want to, at least they recommended about it.
I think as long as you stay within the 2 items.
Yeah, we wouldn't go off of those 2 items, and we'll try to keep it as narrow as possible to the specific script. The only thing that I think might need to be mentioned that we didn't mention in our Hokulea testimony was that the project doesn't represent the general plan's definition of rural. We talked about the urban growth boundaries, but the other big issue is they go into a lot of warm fuzzy language about, what rural, communities and how important they are to the culture and the environment of this island. But that particular project is not a good example of rural. So that I just wanted to say that potentially I might raise that. Okay. If that's okay.
Oh, that's fine. I think it's aligned with the thoughts that we had in the discussion.
Well, I just needed to bring it up because I didn't want to be speaking for myself. I
appreciate that. Okay. Can we close general plan discussion then, number 3?
Yeah, so we'll be there on Thursday.
Okay, and you'll report back next time.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so we have if we close that Kealakekee Regional Park update, Annie?
Yeah, I think what we were thinking about, I heard that Charlotte's interested in this, and thank you, Charlotte. I'm really interested in this. My spouse is a teacher at Calicut High, and we've been really trying to push this project. We've never really gotten a good response from the Parks Department, and we were, I was thinking that maybe we got a new administrator for the Parks Department. Maybe it'd be good to invite them to come talk with us, because the last one, I think we did invite someone and we didn't get a response, or we asked them for follow-up. So I was hoping maybe we could vote on sending a letter, signed by you.
Sure.
So should we make a motion to send a letter to the new parks director about coming from me to give an update on Calicut Regional Park? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, or even parks in, maybe also Old A.
Well, it seems like we need the answers for the park.
Yeah, that's true. And this is particularly.
And it's on our agenda specifically.
Yeah, oh, true. Yeah, so I think send a letter to them, give an update on the status of the regional park.
I'll make the motion that we write a new letter to the new director of parks and then ask him for an update on the status of Calicut Regional Park. Because in our CDP is the goal came in, it's also in the new general plan draft.
Well, I think that's our way of reaching out.
Yeah.
Gonna,
I'll second it.
okay, just, can you write the letter?
Sure. I can write the letter. And then I send it to planning first.
Send it to planning,
Okay.
then I'll read it and sign it.
Can I ask a question? Do you happen to know where they're at in the process as far as the plans? Have they been, do they have any update? Do they have any, let's see, hold on a second.
So, well,
We don't know.
I can give you what I know so far, is that YPAC is that nonprofit I was telling you about. They put together a suggested master plan. And the Parks Department is putting together their own master plan. And they have not shared that with.
Okay.
At that point, or at least I haven't spoken with, both of you, like I said, is my contact. I haven't really spoken with them. They need to do an environmental impact study also, and I think
so
they're also. So they're it's still, even though this has been in the can since the 90s, they're still kind of early on in the process. And that's what we're waiting to hear from them, is what their master plan is and where they are in the impact studies.
Okay. That would be really helpful. Sounds good.
If there's no other discussion on the regional park, I'm going to move it. Excuse me?
Did we vote on the letter?
Yeah, we did. Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor of the motion by Nancy to draft, for John to draft the letter and for me to sign it, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, opposed? Nay, hearing none, motion carries. Let's close that item. Staff has to leave.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna defer the rest of the business, which is basically announcements, to the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll have to figure out what the agenda for next meeting is gonna look like sometime between now and then, when we have
Okay. staff.
Okay. All right, so all in favor of adjourning, indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Hearing none. Okay, meeting's adjourned, and thank you all for your patience. I know we ran over by 22 minutes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
For help.
Thank you.